My name is Gavin Evans, and this is my review of Mickey 17. And I had low expectations for this movie. I thought the trailers were underwhelming, I didn't hear the best things, and somehow this movie managed to surprise me and disappoint me at the same time. It's just a very, very frustrating movie. But let's begin by talking about the cast. And Robert Pattinson is fantastic in this movie. This is one of, if not his very best performance yet. He's charismatic, he carries the movie incredibly well, he's funny and goofy and sincere and menacing, and he has so much to do and he does it all perfectly. He is the reason to watch this movie, and I also loved how you could always tell Mickey 17 and Mickey 18 apart just from these little nuances he brings to those characters. Naomi Aki, who, by the way, is great in The End of the Fucking World Season 2, I thought she was very good here. She adds plenty of emotion and sincerity to this movie, but she just gets thrown to the side for the final act, and I found that to be a baffling decision. Stephen Yeun, who, by the way, anytime he talks, all I could hear was invincible. It's weird to see a face with that voice that isn't Mark Grayson. But anyways, he does a really good job as well. I like how despicable his character is. I actually found him to be quite funny. And Mark Ruffalo. Let's just address the elephant in the room. And yes, he is clearly playing a version of Trump. And I'm conservative, but I found him to be hilarious. He is so over the top and he is so weird, but I thought it was a very entertaining performance. And yeah, he actually added lots to the movie for me, but they focus on him too much in the last act. Toni Collette is the performance that didn't work for me at all. She just brought nothing to this movie, and I didn't find her goofy enough to be enjoyable either. And Anna Maria Vartamy is really good, and there was a part of this movie where I thought she was going to become important, and then she just gets thrown away, which I found to be very frustrating. So the cast is great, and the movie looks good. The CGI, the production design, the cinematography, all consistently good. Nothing great, but good. The movie does sound great, and I loved the first two acts of this movie. I like how they establish everything you need to know, and despite the fact that the main character can just come back to life at any point, I liked how they found a way to add stakes. I also loved just how goofy the movie was. It's actually really funny, and there's plenty of thematic depth. This is a movie about being viewed as expendable by your favorite celebrity or by your workforce, and how being told you're expendable, being told that you're nobody, how that can affect how you view yourself, and how there's a fear of death and a fear of getting replaced after your death. I actually got a lot from this movie. It's one of those movies where everybody is talking about how on the nose it is, and yes, certainly in certain aspects, but I do feel like this movie's a bit smarter than given credit for. So, the first two acts, I was ready to give this movie a high grade. But then there was a scene with a chainsaw, and from that point on, the final act, what were you doing? Just utterly baffling. Truly. Like, did somebody else take over the movie? Because it kind of just becomes Okja 2.0 and it starts focusing on these creatures way too much, and I didn't care. I just didn't. I had no investment in any of that, and they dropped everything that was interesting about this movie for this lesser plot. I also found that the creature design kinda sucked, and the humor kind of fell flat for me in the last act. So, like, I honestly don't know what happened. I also thought the ending was just a little too neat, just wraps up a little too nicely, and the movie is too long. There's especially one scene with Toni Collette near the very end where I'm like, you could have easily cut this. Like, this adds nothing to the movie. And yeah, just the last act, it just, I was surprised by how much I loved the first two acts, and then the last act being disappointing just hit me so much harder. I will also say that there are some anti-Christian jokes here that feel in bad faith. But honestly, just a couple jokes here just felt like it was not needed. You can poke fun at Trump, you can poke fun at conservatives, but this stuff, that stuff didn't work for me. But Mickey 17 is just a very interesting movie. Like, it is. It's something different. It's something unique. And I do like how goofy and how funny it is. I do think there is plenty here to grasp onto and to explore. I do think the cast does a great job, especially Robert Pattinson. It's just a shame about that last act, though. It really is, because, man, the ending sucks, but I loved so much of this movie that I'm still going to give Mickey 17 a 6.5 out of 10. Okay, have you seen Mickey 17? What did you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more videos soon. And Gavin, out.